Welcome everybody to the 15th mystery chocolate tasting. I'm your host. I'm Jennifer Earle, but feel free to call me Jen. And I'm very excited, as I am every single month, because each month I love the chocolates. So this month they are sweeter than some of the previous months that we've had, but there's a lot of variety and I think you're going to love them. So I will wait till Mira arrives to introduce her, but just to give you all a little bit of an idea of what's going to happen this evening, I'm going to explain firstly, I didn't bring down a version of the sheet, but I'm going to explain how to use the things in your pack that are relevant for today, apart from the chocolate, and then we'll get on to the tasting. So I'm going to prescribe the order of the tasting, so we'll all be tasting them together. Mira will share her thoughts and then we'll hear from the chocolatiers. So you can ask questions about the chocolates to the chocolatiers on the call. And so I will introduce them after we taste the first chocolate. And they are, this person made all of the chocolates that you're tasting this evening, but they're not currently for sale. So they may come back at some point. So this is the only chance, so savour your chocolates. One thing I would recommend is that you don't eat the whole chocolate while we're tasting it together. I know that's kind of torturous, but the reason behind it is your palate gets better at tasting the more chocolates you eat. So if you ever needed any encouragement to eat more chocolate, it's because you're getting better at tasting with each bite. But that means that you get more sensitive to flavors. So what I would love you to do is save some of at least the first and second one, and then try them again after we've tried all 6 and see if you're better at detecting the flavors. It also helps once you know what the flavors are, but I find it fascinating that also the order that we taste them in can make a difference. So I'm sure that's quite obvious. If you try something really intense, then it might make it difficult to pick up flavors in the next one. So I do my best to choose an order that makes sure that that doesn't happen too much. But yeah, there is no perfect order for any particular set of chocolates. Let me just see if, oh, Mira is just texting me. Hi, Mira, you made it. So, oh, you're still on mute. You can unmute yourself. I don't think I can do it easily for you. So
sorry, hi.
Hi.
I'm in a festival, so I look all dressed up for the chocolate, of course.
Yes, I definitely want to hear all about the festival as well on the call, but I'm going to finish explaining what we're doing and then I'll introduce you.
Carry on.
So inside your envelope, so those of you who've been before will know this already, you have a sheet of paper to write your thoughts on. So because of what I said before about the chocolates tasting different, depending on when you eat them, this also can be whether you eat them tomorrow morning or now. I mean, I don't imagine anyone's going to save any of the pieces of chocolate until tomorrow morning. They're probably not going to be as good if you do, but it is interesting if we were to do this tasting at midday, everything would taste slightly different to how it does now. So write the things that you're tasting and you can give them a score. This is just for your personal kind of, I'm curious to know which one is your favorite when we get to the end, but we're not feeding back our scores to the judges. They would love your feedback and comments, so like which one you like most and all that kind of thing. So that's for you to take notes, and it also has your discount code, your voucher on it. And then the other piece that is in your envelope, unless you've been many times before, in which case it didn't fit in the box, so sorry. Hopefully you still have one handy. The tasting wheel. So this is actually designed, for those of you seeing it for the first time, this is designed for plain dark chocolate. Also works for milk and white chocolate, but all of the descriptions on the outside are potential flavors that can be found just in plain chocolate, which is just cocoa beans and sugar, usually with sugar. The way we would use this tasting wheel is to start at the center and look at the broad categories of flavor and see if you can define whether a chocolate tastes roasted or fruity or more vegetably. It's possible that it could taste like all 3. And then you move out to the next round of descriptors and see if you can be more specific, and then right down to being super specific. When it comes to filled chocolates, you not only have the influence of the chocolate that's used that may have some of these flavors naturally in it, but obviously the filling. And so this is still useful because if you're struggling to identify the fillings in these chocolates, if you can use this and hopefully it'll jog your memory. I will say guessing flavors of chocolate is really hard. So don't be shy about your guesses. It's just fun. Yeah, even people who do this professionally find it hard to guess the flavors. The fascinating thing about chocolate is that flavors interact with one another. If you remember the Jelly Belly that said if you have the vanilla and the cinnamon at the same time, it tastes like Coca-Cola. So you have that kind of factor when there's more than one ingredient in a filling. You can end up with something that tastes very different to the two of them separately. So please contribute to the chat. That is the short version of what I'm requesting. Okay, let's get going. I will first introduce you our lovely special guest, the wonderful Mira Manek. So I have her 2 books here. So this is her cookbook, Saffron Soul, and this is Prana, which is Ayurvedic Rituals for Happiness. And this was very helpful to me after having a baby. So it's not what it's designed for, but I think it's helpful to everybody. And yeah, they're beautiful books, so I highly recommend them. And Mira is a good friend of mine, and so I'm delighted that she's here. She is an amazing cook and just fascinating person. So I think we are in for a treat. I've got lots of questions for her, so I hope you come up with some as we talk as well. But welcome, Mira. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Jennifer, for the kind introduction and for inviting me on. And yes, I'm sorry for this jumbly background. I just come to a random green room in this hall that I'm in for a festival, so I look all dressed up. But I've got my chocolates with me, which I'm excited about, and really, really thrilled that you invited me on here. And hello to everyone who's on here.
Okay, the first chocolate that we're going to taste, are you ready, is the dark green one. So I have a PowerPoint, very sophisticated, that I'm going to share the photograph so that it's, there's, if you didn't hear me or you forget, I'll hold this up first though, because I feel like that's going to be easier to see than the PowerPoint. And then I'm just going to hope that I've actually told you the right one. Sure I have. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah. Okay, let me share the screen. It's a little slow to react. So what I've done, in case you don't have a knife, which is totally fine if you don't, I have cut them in half so you can see and just revel in the layers and the excitement. So that's the outside, although the same mine looks a bit more green than brown at that angle. And then this is what it looks like inside. I'm going to join you in tasting. Oh, I just seen your suggestion, Dom. Thank you. I'll make sure I've got that on hand next time. I can see why you said thyme, Matt. Camel and green tea. Interesting. Any more guesses? I find that when this was actually the first one I tasted when I tried them all together, and I couldn't particularly get either of the flavors. And then after I ate the second chocolate and went back to this one, I could get I've just given you a clue, haven't I? 2 flavors. I got one of the flavors, and then now tasting it for the 3rd time today, I can taste the flavor I couldn't get the last time. That's what I mean about don't be embarrassed about whatever guesses you have, because you find that you're different from yourself on different occasions too. Definitely caramel.
That's a really interesting flavor.
Thyme and honey. I love the texture of it. I always think my special guests are very brave to come on and be put on the spot with their thoughts.
This is really scary. Am I meant to give me my thoughts right now?
Yeah, I'd love to. We'd love to know.
God, it's so difficult. I can see why someone would say thyme, and I wouldn't think of it, but I actually can taste it. I'm almost thinking rosemary, thyme, and I don't know, maybe even oolong tea, something like that.
Interesting. I'm going to read out some of the flavors. So we've got salted caramel. I think somebody said green tea. Oh, I don't like the way this scrolls. Thyme, minty, caramel and ginger, burnt caramel. I'm going to take that as a positive burnt. I like a burnt caramel. A touch of floral, thyme and honey, minty, honey and butterscotch, minty. I think that was so. And then I think I saw cardamom in there as well. So the two flavors were in that mix. So it is honey, which I feel like it's a thyme honey to me. It might not be, but I've got some thyme honey in the house, and when I had the honey just then, it reminded me of the thyme honey. So that's why I was like, definitely can see why you're saying thyme. And then yes, it is cardamom. So well done, Karen. Karen is one half of Dormouse Chocolates, our guest from last month.
I should have been able to guess that, I think, but well done. Yeah,
so that's what I was saying. This time I can't taste the cardamom, but earlier this afternoon, when I had it for the second time, I could taste the cardamom and not the honey. So yeah, when I'm judging or writing tasting notes for somebody, I'll always make sure I taste on at least 3 occasions, because, and if my results have really varied on those 3 occasions, then I'll taste on some more, because our palates are just changing by the hour. So yes, honey, and I should have been, that's going to make for a very boring video, so sorry anyone who's watching back. So that was the honey and cardamom, and I'm going to share the screen again to introduce you to our chocolatiers, after just having taken it off, and then you can see their lovely faces in real life, but I have made a slide. So welcome to the Little House Dorset. So Anna and Dan, and that is their Instagram handle. So if you are a user of Instagram, then please do say hi to them. So I think Anna has made the chocolates. Yeah. That's the other half of the business. Dan packed your chocolates, I think.
Yeah.
Or posted them.
I do all the hard graft.
Do the hard bit. So yeah, welcome Anna and Dan. So Anna is a pastry chef who has worked in many amazing restaurants in Cambridge and in London. And then during the summer, she moved to Dorset with Dan, where he is originally from. And in Cambridge, her business, which she started in March, so beginning of the pandemic, was called La Petite Maison. And so now it's anglicized, and it's the Little House. Yeah. And so as well as chocolates, she also creates and sells patisserie, currently only locally, and charcuterie, which again is locally, but will be further beyond. So yeah, welcome Anna and Dan. Thank you for making these chocolates.
Thank you. Hi everybody.
Delicious, really interesting flavors, really interesting flavors. Thanks Anna. I'm sorry I didn't guess the cardamom, because I love cardamom, but I did get, I don't know, when someone said thyme, I could really taste that.
Yeah, it's almost floral, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, that someone did say floral as well. So what, did you have anything you wanted to share about this particular chocolate, Anna?
Yeah, so the honey is from our local honey by a family-owned small business called Honey by Ian. We love to promote Dorset business, so we love that it's just 5 minutes away where the local hive is, and we love the flavor of the honey so much we didn't want to do too much with it, so we just simply caramelized it. So it's quite interesting that someone said burnt caramel earlier on in the chat, because we just caramelized it as with the caramel with equal parts sugar and honey, and complemented it with the cardamom. And we just think this chocolate just tastes like a hug in a bonbon form, because it's very warming, the flavors, and I love how the cardamom just complements the honey as well. It's one of our favorites this month too.
Yeah, and mine, I love this one. I always like starting with a really just gentle, just happy chocolate. I feel like it's a nice way to warm you up, and because that thing I mentioned about it being the first chocolate's always very hard to identify. So it's kind of nice to do one that's a little bit more subtle. But I do suggest, if you can, try and save some of it and try it again later, and then you'll probably get the honey and the cardamom more distinctly. Okay, next chocolate. Are we ready? So I think I said that we're going to we will get through all of the chocolates by 9 o'clock. If you still have questions, I'm happy to hang around for a bit longer, hopefully. Anna and Dan will too. Mira might have to go back to her festival, so if we've got questions for Mira, we'll prioritize those. Right, the next chocolate that we're going to taste is the pink one that isn't a heart, so the pinky purple one. You like my descriptions? I've got a picture as well, so I'll for anyone watching later, share the screen. Okay, sorry, very blurry, but if you're not clear at any stage, just drop a message in the chat. Worst case is you eat some chocolate, but you were going to eat anyway. And then this one is particularly exciting inside. Ooh, multiple. See, I apologize for my cutting, Anna.
It's a difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. So I should have made a bit more effort to like remove the shards of white chocolate from it to really, and it's a little overexposed, but yeah. I'm a chocolate taster, not a photographer. I'm working on that. So there's a lot to guess here. So good luck.
It's such a interesting combination. It's like a cheesecake. It's delicious. Biscuity sort of.
Yeah, that was my first thought when I tried it too, that it was quite cheesecake-like. I think. It's like, yeah, 3 layers. Strawberry cheesecake. That wasn't a yes, that was just a nod of agreement. Lemon curd. Oh, I have questions already. Like,
Ooh, interesting.
raspberry lemon cornflakes. Yeah, does feel like cornflakes. Blueberry cheesecake, plum crumble. I'm reading all of these and I'm like, yep, could be that, could be that. All plausible. What do you think, Mira?
Yeah, strawberry shortcake. Yeah, it's strawberry yeah, I can't decide because initially I thought cheesecake, and it is like cheesecake, but I also feel like it's got that white chocolate in it, so I don't know how to bring that white chocolate in. God, it's got so many different flavors, but I think the strawberry and the biscuit comes through the most. I just don't know how to combine them in a word.
Yeah, I think like the strawberry cheesecake is a great description. It's not accurate, sorry guys, but I would totally believe you if that's what you told me this was. I know I said to like only have like save some, and if you're already sharing between 2 people, that's tricky. I feel like if you ate more of this, if you want to eat more of this, it will be easier to identify what it is, because nobody's got that yet. I know what you mean, but it's not quite the tang of cream cheese. It doesn't have that lactic.
It's so delicious.
note.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't have that cream cheese. It's more white chocolate, strawberry, and biscuit. Like, and I don't quite know how to describe that.
And so the white chocolate cream center bit is mascarpone, so that's why it's kind of like cream cheese-esque, because a lot of cream cheeses, especially in modern restaurants, are made with mascarpone rather than, or more mascarpone than cream cheese, I think. Strawberry yogurt, lemon, ginger. Okay, so I'm gonna. I want to know all the ingredients in this, but I will pass you over to Anna to reveal what it is, and I'll also share my screen so it takes the pressure off. Go ahead if you want, Anna. It is. I'm amazed that. Oh, sorry. Any second now. Here we go. Is that what you thought? Oops. I'm going to close the whole thing down. Did you see that? So it was fig, mascarpone, orange mascarpone, and caramelized citrus biscuit.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Citrus cookie.
Yeah, citrus cookie.
Yeah. This. Can you please explain, Anna? Because how does the fig end up tasting so much like strawberry?
So the fig jam is how you would make like a pâte de fruit, but instead of cooking it down to the temperature that you need to cook it a bit lower, and yeah, that's it. You so that it's a nice pipeable texture when you pipe it into the bonbon. And the orange mascarpone is laced with orange zest, and orange juice to give it that citrusy component. And the last bit is the crunchy citrus cookie. So it's a cookie base made out of caramelized white chocolate, cocoa butter, brown butter, feuilletine, crunchy wafer biscuits that we blitz into a fine powder. And we also studied it with some finely minced citrus peel. So we candied some lemon, lime, and orange, finely minced it and added it in there just for the extra citrusy boost, which I hope some of you did get. Some got lemon in there, so I'm quite happy to see that. But I'm not sure where the strawberry bit is coming into, maybe because it's a bit more sweeter than how you would with the jam. With a fig
and I
jam,
think like the color, I mean, it just looks like it's a whole strawberry in it. And I think because the seeds of the fig are quite similar to the seeds of the strawberry. I mean, obviously fig seeds are much crunchier. Yeah. So that's why I was saying if you have more of it, it becomes, when you know, at least, it becomes more obvious that it's fig.
I feel like I love figs and I have them a lot. And I think, I don't know why I didn't get it. I feel like a bit of a failure. I haven't got two things yet.
No, I wouldn't. Like,
but they're delicious.
I genuinely, I think I would have had to eat quite a few of them to notice that it was a fig as well. Like once you're told, it's sort of, I can believe you. I still am not like thoroughly convinced.
The lemon and orange peel does come through. I don't know why I didn't say it, but it does. You're right. It's delicious. I love it.
And someone said the feuilletine. Someone said cornflakes. Sorry, which
that was the feuilletine.
Yeah, it's
in there.
When people ask what feuilletine is.
I found with the fig that if you rested that part of that jam on your tongue, you'd get it instantly. But once it's melded in with the rest of the flavors, it's less distinct to pick out.
Oh,
that makes sense. Still very happy to eat it. I do. That does make sense because when I've had fig jam before, it doesn't taste like it doesn't either. It doesn't taste like dried figs, and it doesn't taste like fresh figs. It's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
In the same way that strawberry jam doesn't really taste like strawberries, fresh strawberries. So it's or like strawberry candy sweets either. So it makes sense. It's just not like I don't often eat figs in that sort of cooked format. But I'm glad you liked it. I'm seeing delicious and seeing happy sounding words in the chat. Okay. Was there anything else you want to say? Anyone? Anna? No?
So the reason why we chose figs for this month is because last month we did a from the garden theme. So this is one of the fruits that we've foraged from our garden, surrounded fig trees and like blackberries and plums in here. So we made use of that for the bonbons that we've made. And this was a favorite last month. So we thought we'll put it in this mystery box as well. Share the love.
It's so delicious. I was, have you tried making anything with the fig leaves yet?
Oh, no, not yet. But
no, we haven't.
I really recommend it. So infuse the cream and then make a ganache or custard from the leaves. We only have leaves because something eats all of our figs. But we have a lot of leaves, so I give them to my local cafe and then I get a pot of ice cream in return.
I think she'll be sending me out tomorrow foraging leaves then.
Excellent. I'm happy to say
it's also a work of art. Sorry, it's also such a work of art, that particular chocolate, the way it's done. Beautiful.
Yeah, the layers, it really is, and the decoration. I agree. Okay, what are we up to? Third chocolate. So this is the silvery one, the planetarium type silver grey. I can share the screen to make sure there's no confusion. And I'll show you the inside of it. Ooh. What is it? I'm going to stop sharing so we can see faces. What's the shelf life of the chocolates? 3 weeks, is that right, Anna?
2 weeks, you would say, if it's got fruit-based fillings, which means more water content, it's just 2 weeks max. But for pralines, nuts, and normal standard ganache, we would suggest up to 3 weeks. but fresh is always best. So as soon as you get the chocolates, we suggest our customers eat them as soon as they receive them.
Yeah,
do.
I would 100% agree with that, that chocolates always taste better the sooner you eat them. So because we post overseas as well, we try and make sure that we've got like 8 to 9 days to get the ones to get overseas as well. So these, when I asked Anna this morning, these will be good until Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
but best to eat them all tonight. So, okay, yuzu and black sesame, peanut butter and lime, yuzu, black sesame and yuzu. Oh,
I was going to say black sesame and lime.
You guys are good.
Although initially I did think charcoal, but I don't think it's that. I think I got that completely wrong.
It's the color, isn't it? Like this big, looking like strawberry colored berry.
I actually have black sesame a lot. I love it, and this is reminiscent of yeah. I mean, it literally tastes like that, but obviously nicer.
I like the
yummy
drama of black sesame. I don't like the way it like catches in your teeth and you look a pirate.
Yeah.
I can relate to that right now.
Pardon?
I said I can relate to that right now.
Yeah. Like, hops. Yeah, I can see how it tastes hoppy. Is that there's that like bitterness from the black sesame.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit more bitter than.
Yeah.
Well, I guess different tahinis can be different. So, it is black sesame, which for those of you, I'm sure everybody here is aware, but tahini is ground sesame, and you get white sesame and black sesame. Starfruit, that I can see how it tastes kind of like starfruit and lime and kind of blackcurrant. It is yuzu. Well done to everybody who guessed yuzu, black sesame. Nice. It's slightly less yuzu-y than some other yuzu chocolates I've had. I think
the lime these yuzu, or what I thought was lime, was such a nice surprise because I had the sesame first, and then suddenly there was this burst of like lime in my third bite because I was having small chunks of it, and it was lovely.
Yeah. How many of you here were on the tasting last year with the black sesame and passion fruit? A few of you? Yay, some waves. And some people I think who have joined but aren't on the call as well. So that I think will end up being one of the most popular ones from that box. So that black sesame and citrus is really gorgeous combination. Yeah, it's slightly more like this particular yuzu is a bit more limey to me than floral. Is it? Where do you get the yuzu from? Is it?
You get the yuzu just straight out of the pure concentrate juice, but I did mix a bit of lime in there. That's why you can taste the lime, because I find that it's just nice to balance it all out. I think because yuzu can be quite a strong, powerful frontal flavor, and I think the lime kind of mellows it out a little bit. And when I made this earlier on this year in February for the Lunar New Year box, I wanted to do Asian flavors, and obviously being Asian, I wanted to do black sesame in there. So I just love the two flavors so much. So I thought just indulge and put it in a chocolate form. And last February, I made it with milk chocolate, and it was, you can taste the black sesame more, but now this time I thought I'd experiment and make it with the dark chocolate, and you can kind of obviously leans more towards the bitter side of the black sesame, which was, I think, works much better with it.
Yeah, I think dark was like, I'm glad we tried it with dark. I feel like that's better. It focuses more on the flavors, and yeah.
I love it, and I feel like it's I love black sesame, and I also think it's really, really healthy for you. So I also find it like a little bit less sweet, which is quite nice after that fig one, because obviously we had that sweet, and then we have something a little bit less sweet, which I loved.
Yeah, that's why I work hard to balance like the journey of the chocolate. What can you tell us about why black sesame is good for us? Am I putting you on the spot? Or?
I've done a lot of research on black sesame, because I realized that's also very good for. So some people say that it can actually make white hair black again. I don't know if that happens. I haven't yet discovered it does, but it's very good for you in many, many ways. And it's got a lot of vitamins, and black in particular is very good for the hair. I can't tell you off the top of my head exactly what it has in it, but it is very good for you. And so I actually keep black sesame paste and black sesame seeds in my house so that I can have a little bit every day.
That's so
instead of that, you can just have this chocolate.
Yeah,
make it more palatable.
Definitely. I know that's like people saying, they want to have raw chocolate or, like just like having their foods is like, just make them into something that tastes good. Like just eat really good quality dark chocolate, and you don't need to have raw chocolate that tastes so bad that you have to add a ton of maple or agave to it. Not that I mind having maple or agave, it's just like you need less of it if you have better quality chocolate. Okay, that was delicious. The next chocolate we're going to taste is the caramelly brown one. I've only got a broken, already cut one here. The light's too much, just to make that very clear. But there aren't many left, so I think that it should be fairly obvious. There's only that one, a purple one, and a heart. So I think you'll be able to deduce what it is that I refer to. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgot to. That's not what it was. That was the other one. Forgot to update that. So inside this one, 3 layers again. Look how we're spoiling you. Well, I ordered them and I made them. She's spoiling you.
Coffee caramel is what comes to mind.
Interesting. I'm going to taste it
But
again.
since I've been wrong about everyone, I'm probably wrong about this one as well.
It really smells like fudge. I forgot to say that one of the if you haven't been on a tasting with me before, I do encourage smelling even of filled chocolates, because sometimes certain flavors are much more easier to detect when you smell them orthodasally rather than retronasally, because basically what we experience as taste is really smell. As I discovered when I completely destroyed my tongue with hot tea on Friday, and it still felt like I could taste everything. It just that anything with citrus or vinegar was very, very painful. But so yeah, when you smell through your nose outside of your head, you can sometimes pick up on things more. Yes, malt. Once you've eaten it though, like once something's in your mouth, it's very hard to like smell the remaining part of it that's not already in your mouth. Fudge, salt, caramel, peanut butter, a pop of salt. I really like this one after the black sesame, because that kind of like bitter hoppiness of the sesame. And then you've got this just very sweetness, but in a very, it's another hug of a popcorn. Ooh, toffee cappuccino. It's weird. I feel like I'm tasting those like kind of coffee sweets, but it's not coffee, but I do get that kind of, it reminds me of coffee candy. I think it's like a slightly just a burnt sugar note rather than coffee. I mean, to be honest, I know it's not coffee, so sorry guys, but I can totally agree with where you're going, how that's triggered for you. That's the other thing about taste. So all of the, as I'm sure you know, how our sense of smell is connected to our memories. And when you smell something, you'll conjure up memories. And then so any kind of similar smells in that, or memories, smells that were at the same time as that memory will get confused. So that kind of like buttery burnt sweetness that reminds me of coffee candies makes me think it might be coffee, even though it's not. Okay, so I'll hand over to Anna and let her reveal what it is.
So this one was salted popcorn. It's composed of a salted popcorn powder in the top, which is the stuff you see at the top, and then a brown butter caramel in the middle, and a popcorn infused ganache in the bottom.
Were many of you on the tasting where we had a popcorn with the Chocolate Society? It was, I think, in May, maybe. A couple of you, I know, were on the call. Yeah, so different to this one. But yeah, I love it. So how did you put you cooked popcorn, put it in the cream, and then strained the cream?
Yeah, infused the cream. So I made a popcorn from kernels and then covered it deliberately with brown butter and a generous helping of salt. So I'm glad someone said, oh, a nice pot with salt in there. And because I think the salt contrast balanced it all out, because the shell itself was quite sweet from the caramelized white chocolate, and the ganache and the caramel itself is also quite sweet. So I thought that would help it balance out a little bit. And so I just decided to add popcorn powder on the top layer just to get a hint of popcorn, because I made this earlier on in the year as well. And without the popcorn powder, just infused ganache. And you can taste the popcorn a little bit, but I think what I like about this one is that you can get a hit of the popcorn as soon as you bite it. It's like a first fleeting taste that you get as soon as you bite it. And yeah, it's just nice. Although I think next time I would put it in between the two layers so that the powder doesn't just fall everywhere. I don't know, I'm sure you've seen it, Jen, and you cut it in half, it just kind of falls and cascades. So yeah, for next time I would put it in between the two layers so the powder would stick.
Yeah, I think if you put the whole chocolate in your mouth without sharing it or like trying to save it for later, you might have got even more of a popcorn hit, because you would have just had all of that explode in your mouth in one go. Whereas if you cut it or bite into it, as you say, it kind of spills, or you get less of it in the same bite. So yeah, that's probably a good idea. It's interesting. So is it whole popcorn that you just put into like a high powered blender or food processor?
Yeah, I've just blended it into a like pure powder form, and then in the same popcorn I also infused into cream and let it sit steep overnight in fridge, and then blended it again and sieved it, because there's a lot of the seeds from the kernel, and with that same liquid I made the ganache as well. So double popcorn infusion.
Cool.
Lovely. But I don't know why I got coffee, I'm sorry. I do love it though, it's delicious.
You weren't the only one. A few people mentioned that. I'd love to see that. I don't know if it would work, but I'd love to see it like as a truffle and then rolled in popcorn, but it would probably go soft if it was on the outside, wouldn't it? Might need to do 2 layers. So like roll it in popcorn and then put another coating of chocolate like a rocher.
Yeah.
Make them work for you. That would be cool.
Something to experiment on next time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I do that to the chocolatiers. I'm like, could you try it like this as well? That'll be fun. Yeah, those of you who don't know, my job used to be to design food. I didn't actually have to make any of it. I just was like, do this and try this. Best job ever.
How do you get this job?
That's a good question. I was a food buyer first, so I did lots of negotiating and then became a food developer. I know I'd had no idea this job existed, like when I was at school and university, and then I saw it advertised. I'm like, food buyer, I like to buy food. And then I joined as a food buyer and was like, food developer, that sounds amazing. They just talk about what's happening and boss the chefs around. I like it.
Wow. That's brilliant.
It was a fun job. Not all of it was fun. Yeah, but overall it was great. So the second to last chocolate that we're going to try is the purple one. So the final dome before we finish with the heart.
Saving the heart for the last.
Yeah. Finish with the love. So let me, sorry, my photos. Oh, the popcorn. That was the last one. Sorry. And then it's a double layer again, and look at the color. Let's
wow.
See beautiful. What it makes you think of. And so interesting that like it's very hard to guess flavors straight away. So it actually takes a while for something to hit that brain, especially when it's complex. Like if you bite into a lemon, it's like going to be, okay, this is lemon. But when you've got something that's multi-layered, if you go to a restaurant and sit down and eat a stew, you're like, oh, is that star anise? Is it cardamom? What is the flavor? Black currant coconut, Uve coconut, coconut and lavender. Just going to wait for some more guesses before we reveal. That's a brilliant color. Definitely smells like coconut. I'm given 3 people have guessed coconut. I think we can reveal that coconut is one of the flavors.
Yeah. Coconut I definitely thought, but I can't figure out the other thing, whether it's lavender or blackcurrant. I can't quite taste the blackcurrant, so I'm not sure it's that. I can't figure it out. Delicious.
Yeah, Karen and Isabel agree with the ube. Am I saying that correctly, ube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, ube I've not heard.
Pardon? Oh, you're spinning. That was fun.
I've not heard of ube. Sorry, no. I was just seeing the time the other way because it doesn't work this way, and I need to check something. But ube I've not heard of. I don't know what ube is.
It is like a purple root vegetable.
Oh.
So ube is basically a
wow.
Filipino purple yam, or in Japanese,
purple
taro,
yam, yes.
or bright purple sweet potato, and it's a staple dessert in the Philippines. It's become more popular in London now, and lots of Filipino bakeries popping up. You can see the bright purple, characteristically purple ube. But yeah, it's
amazing.
Yeah, someone put sweet potato as well. That's nice.
Yeah,
I thought no one would get this flavor at all because it's quite a rare one. So it's good to see a few people seeing that. I'm quite happy that a few people guessed that.
It's a pretty
amazing
luminous color. I think if you've encountered ube before, it's easier to, especially when it doesn't taste like the other things that are that color. You know, like it doesn't really
that's
taste
why
like
I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, why was it a disaster, Lily? Was it the flavor, or did you just make purple everywhere? I feel like this has got to be something that stains.
Yeah, it does.
Text was insane.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like purple. I agree, Dom. It does not taste like purple. Too much potato. So anyone thinking about making ube ice cream, don't use too much potato, which kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Don't put too much potato in your ice cream. Ube
it must be so good for you, this ube. Lovely. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah, there's a new bakery in Chinatown called Mama Son's. They do ube ice cream in there, and that's one place to get it. And it's just insane. It's amazing.
And ube filled donuts as well, like ube custard donuts.
Yeah,
very
warm donut. And then a nice ube ice cream in the middle. It's amazing. I'd recommend to go there.
Yeah, so that's, if anyone missed it, it's called Mama Son's, and there's one in Chinatown, and then there's one in Camden as well.
Wow.
I feel like there's somewhere else that sells it too. I'm not sure. If you want, I can, feel free to email me and I will try and find out. Okay, the very last, I was curious, Anna, what was the percentage of that dark chocolate?
That was 72%.
70 is quite, it is a strong one.
Because ube is quite sweet naturally, and I thought it's just nice to contrast it with some dark chocolate, just to make it more interesting, I think.
Yeah, I like it. I like it with the dark, and I think just in the terms of the mix of the pack, like it's nice to have some with dark chocolate when we have white and caramelized white and milk. Okay, final chocolate. Time for the heart, everybody. And I will just put my screen up so that coconut, and then the pretty heart, and show you yet more layers. I'm always impressed by chocolatiers who do any layers, but especially when they all come with layers, because I'm sure you can imagine that's a lot of extra effort than just piping ganache into a shell.
Passion fruit and orange? I'm not sure, but passion fruit for sure at the top.
Really smells like passion fruit.
It's lovely. But it's not as tangy as passion fruit, so I could really be wrong about that. No, it's toffee and orange or something.
Like the fact that you're scooping it out with a stick.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, because
it is a good idea,
it was actually here when I came into the room, but if I have a chocolate with it, then it's getting masked by the chocolate flavor.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to figure out what the flavor inside is.
Differentiate the flavor. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good idea. I do that
I
with
feel
a
like
bit
it's
of a pen,
orange
is that
and
gross?
toffee. Initially, I thought passion fruit. It might still be that, but I'm thinking toffee and orange. I don't know. But very, very very lightly sort of. It's not like a sharpness. There's no sharpness to it. Lovely.
It's
Divine.
yeah, that's interesting because the bottom layers. Well, it's interesting. Any other guesses? I saw pink grapefruit. I can see why that's been guessed as well. I think this for me is kind of the same as ube. It's not a flavor I have very frequently. I don't really remember the last time I did have it. So there's a clue. Not a flavor that I imagine any of you had recently. Maybe passion fruit, grapefruit, lemongrass. Yeah, I can see that. It's got that kind of floral, not herbal, but vegetal note of lemongrass. Yuzu. Yeah, interesting. Not that. I put you out of your misery.
Yes,
I'll share the screen to reveal. I saw clapping. Wow. Did you guess that, April?
Wow.
Well done. I'm going to say my clue helped, right?
Yeah.
Guava. Oh, Matt said it. Well done.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Tell us about how
Amazing.
this, please, Anna.
Okay.
Jennifer, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to dash. So it's because it's 1:45 now. I'm so sorry. But is that okay? And
yeah, that's fine. I was hoping to ask you some questions, but that's okay.
Can we just chat about those few things now? Because basically, I'm not going to be able to stay in here longer. They told me to vacate the room, so I'm sorry. I'm just going to have to go.
Have you got? Do you have to go now? Or
yeah, I do. But I'll just give me if there's anything for a few minutes, let's do that, and then maybe we can speak about the rest. You can carry on with the rest after that. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk about the guava in a minute. Yeah, I wanted to. I would love to know what your kind of how chocolate connects with.
Let me move it the other way
in terms of Ayurvedic cooking and eating and or just your favorite memory of chocolate, if you want to share that.
Yeah, I love dark chocolate, and that's why some of these were just amazing. And I generally have a very, very sweet tooth, so if I start with chocolate, I sort of can't stop. But what was interesting is I never really got into the sort of champagne truffles or orange chocolate or anything with too many different other flavors, but these were really interesting. And I thought the black sesame especially, or all of them, they had such lovely flavors. I could just keep on eating. I could actually eat the whole thing, and I've left quarters, not even halves of some of them. So they were really, really delicious. I feel like with Ayurveda, which is what I specialize in, but also well-being and everything. I think it's all about balance, and I think there is a place for chocolate. Chocolate isn't something that was necessarily invented in India or that you really get properly in India, but it's so it's delicious, and I think it's such a wonderful creation, and I don't think any of us can really live without chocolate. So I think it's all about balance, and it's all about trying to make sure that having sweet in Ayurveda is important. You don't just avoid sugar. So chocolate, there is a complete place for chocolate. When it comes to dark chocolate, that's something obviously I've acquired a taste for over time, not when I was younger. And I love when there's a hint of salt in things, because that really brings out the flavor of the chocolate. So I feel like I've become a little bit better over the years, but I think I realized after this tasting that I clearly don't have that much of a grip on flavors, because I didn't guess any of them right, apart from the black sesame. And I think that was after somebody mentioned it, and I was like, oh yes, I love that flavor. But it was delicious. So thank you, Anna. They're all works of they're all creations of art. They're beautiful, beautiful works of art, and also each one tastes delicious and distinct in its own right. Literally wowed by artisans and chocolatiers out there, because they're just stunning, and the amount of effort and time that goes into making these is phenomenal. So well done, and I hope you go very far in your chocolate making and they get sold all over. So thank you so much, and thanks again for inviting me on here, Jennifer.
Pleasure. Thank you for coming. If anyone has any questions for Mira that come after she has to go, then I will pass those on, and then I will get the questions back to you.
Is there anything right now? Is there anything that that anyone wanted to ask? I know some people had ordered the cocoa chai,
Yes.
as I have a chai brand in which I put cocoa powder, raw cacao powder with coconut sugar and 7 spices, and I love that flavor of chocolatiness and chai. So when I make my hot chocolate at home, sometimes even without that chai mix, I put some cinnamon in or a little bit of ginger in, and I really love that sort of, even cardamom. Cardamom tastes so delicious in hot drinks with sweetness. So chocolate chai is delicious, and I absolutely love how earthy the raw cacao tastes in that. So I do have there is a place for chocolate in my brand and in what I create, but not quite the work of art that Anna's created here.
Yeah, if you didn't order Mira's chai, I would definitely look out for it. There are other versions as well, turmeric and classic, and beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Didn't finish that sentence. What, in terms of like vata and pitta, and what's the other one? The kapha. Is there, does chocolate like better or should be avoided by any?
I don't know. I don't think so, because all of us we're different constitutions of, so we have an imbalance of 1, and we're a dominant in 2, and it really depends on, yes, there is a salty, sweet dominant if you have a specific body type, but no, I don't think there is a specific for chocolate, or and I don't actually know which it is for sugar and sweet, but I think it's essentially we're all dominant in so many different, we're all a constitution of different things and different elements like vata, pitta, kapha, which is why it's important sometimes to find out what we are, because we want to go back to the balance that we originally were, because we will never really change that balance in our lives, but what will happen is we'll go out of balance of what we originally want. So what the idea is to take us back to that original balance more and more, because that was our original constitution. So yeah, finding out your body type, finding out what your a balance and imbalance of, allows you to understand things like whether you should have more sweet or more salty. But in a sense, it is also intuitively understanding what your body needs, which takes time. And sometimes we know we need to avoid that one extra crisp or that one extra chocolate, and we still have it. And it's that sort of thing, just understanding your own balance. And but yeah, essentially, you've got to also enjoy food. And it has to be a combination of food is for joy and for purpose and for comfort.
Yeah, I love that about your book, and how it really is just about like listening to yourself and being kind to yourself, and lots of small ways where you can show yourself that kindness, like lots of ideas for that, and processes and recipes, and not like really easy recipes, and not to like diminish them, but ones that like, I can actually do that. It's not going to require too much.
No, they are, and that is not diminishing them at all. I think that's the idea. That's exactly what I look for, and that's exactly what I go for. So you saying that is actually a compliment to me, because I was trying to make it as simple as possible and trying to show that Indian food can be very simple to make at home. You don't need to try and replicate what you get in restaurants, and that's exactly my thing. So, but I won't go on too much. I'll let Anna take over from here about the delicious chocolate that we tried, and I'm sorry that I have to leave, but it was so great to be on here with you, and thank you so much for inviting me and to seeing you all, and understanding that you guys actually understand more about chocolate flavors than I do, because it was quite difficult to get it. But I loved them all, so thank you. And
some of these guys have been to all of them. Some of these people have been to all of them, Mira, so they're they're well practiced now. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the festival.
That's amazing.
Hopefully
thank you, and well done for just bringing this wonderful community together. It's so nice to see that. Thanks, Jennifer. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mira.
Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Mira.
Exactly. Bye. Thank you.
So, thanks. Guava. Hopefully the rest of you want to hang around here about Guava and maybe have some more questions for Anna. Oh, bye, Jenny. Bye, Holly. Nice to see you guys. Hopefully see you all in November with Felicity. It's I love every month. So hopefully you'll come back. Okay, Guava. Tell me about Guava, Anna.
Okay, so Guava is a tropical fruit, as you guys know, and coming from the Philippines, which is a tropical country, it's just got a special memory and that I hold dear. This is everywhere in there, and the actual flavor of guava is quite mild. It's a fruit of its own. It's more of a background flavor. You you need it in strong quantities to really taste it. So for this one, when I made it, I reduced the puree into half to really concentrate that flavor and to get rid of the water content, because you don't want water content in your chocolate fillings. As some of you guys probably know. And yeah, and then for the fillings, I just wanted to do double guava caramel and guava and lime ganache, because I thought just to get that punch in there, because so that it can hold on its own against the strong milk chocolate. So hope you guys enjoyed that one.
So it's like a guava reduction at the top and caramelized as well?
Yeah.
In a caramel?
Yeah, in a caramel.
And then
instead of the cream, I added the caramel. Oh no, not caramel. The puree. Sorry.
So that's like a sugar, caramelized sugar, then the puree added instead of cream.
Yeah.
And butter though?
Yeah, and butter.
Butter.
For the fatness.
Yeah, it needs the fat. And then the base is a white chocolate ganache with guava and some lime.
Yeah, lime juice and lime zest.
Lime zest. I was like, there's little tiny bits. I'm like, is that the lime? That makes sense why the combination of guava and lime becomes like that passion fruit, but not quite as zingy that people were detecting. Because the guava's got like the floral notes of passion fruit, I think, but not as much of the acidity that you get in passion fruit, which the lime brought too. So there's like a cook's hack. Got no passion fruit? You're probably not going to have any guava either, are you? Damn, that doesn't really work. Maybe if you're in an Asian country and you've got access to guava but not passion fruit, find some lime and you can still make a porn star martini.
Lovely.
It's basically the only thing I use passion fruit for, and pavlovas.
Yeah.
Pavlovas. Does anyone have more questions for Anna, or just generally about chocolate? So if this is your first time, I don't spend too long talking about the sort of details of how chocolate's made and how we judge it. So I'm a judge for the International Chocolate Awards and the Academy of Chocolate Awards, because people come back each week. But I have a few short videos on my Instagram, and if there's anything else you want to know about, I can answer questions here or at another stage. Yeah, there's so many flavors. Here's a question for you.
Oh, apple crumble from Kai is out there going to turn out into a bonbon or a flavor that hasn't worked. Oh, thank you, Nadine. That was really kind. It's really nice to hear. Do themes for chocolate like you had from what themes are you? Okay.
So I'm going to repeat the question for people watching on the catch up. So Anna, is there a flavor that you're dying to turn into a bonbon? So it's like itching at you because you haven't done it yet. And is there anything that you've tried that hasn't worked?
So I'm dying to put pandan in a bonbon, which is pandan is another type of Asian leaf. It's very subtle in flavor. So I've been trying to experiment on how I can put that in there. And as you guys might know, pandan is mostly used in a kaya form, which is kind of like a lemon curd, but in a pandan, but with egg. But you can't have egg in a bonbon. So I've been doing lots of development on this so that I can get it out for the February box. My February box is always the Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, Asian flavors. So thank you. So yeah, hopefully I get it right and get it out soon for February. And one thing that didn't work before, I think it was I don't know what happened. It was a rhubarb chocolate. And I don't know what I did with filling. It was just too much water content from the rhubarb compote. And then after that, I thought we'll try again next year when it's next season. But what I'm dying to turn into as well is a black sesame bar. So I really want to get that out into a bar form, and don't know how yet, but it's in my head. But I'm working on that as well for the future. And for the next question, what themes are you dreaming up for winter? So winter, for Christmas, normally I do December as Christmas flavor. So we'll be doing Mont Blanc. I don't know if you guys know that. It's a French dessert with chestnut. So I'll be doing that into a bonbon form. And what else did I put? Mulled cider, Dorset mulled cider, all Christmassy flavors. And I can't remember what the other two flavors I'll be making for December as well, but it's all Christmassy themed as well.
And then there's the...
So if you didn't realize from this selection that we got today, these are kind of like a highlights reel of the last year or so that Anna had great feedback on, and that we thought would work well in a box together. Oh, that's a great question. What's new and different in your garden since you made the From the Garden thing?
We
More
actually
leaves.
a lot of weeds.
Weeds. Some of them are edible.
We've just moved into this house this summer, so we haven't quite gotten a first full year yet, but hopefully by next year we'll get more things in there, like chilies or maybe some vegetables or other all sorts of stuff and fruits that hopefully we'll put into chocolate form. But it's our first year in the house and the first year in the garden, so we've just got the basic autumny flavors for the moment.
You should get Charlotte down to visit, or maybe she might be less familiar with Dorset. So Charlotte made the chocolates for April or May, I'm forgetting now. Or maybe it was the first, anyway, she made the chocolate box this year, and they were things like Sweet Sicily and hogweed and
wow.
like just, I mean, it was I think it was June actually. It's Georgie had the horrible task of trying to guess all of these ingredients that none of us had ever even tasted. Although in some ways that was an easier job because there was literally like, you know, no one would expect anybody to guess the flavors. But yeah, fascinating foraging.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was very cool about trying things that I've never tasted before. It's so maybe get Charlotte to visit you in your garden and tell you which weeds are edible.
Yeah, which one we can actually use.
It's certainly a like unique selling point, I think. Charlotte is the same, like she does different seasonal boxes like you do, and they're just with whatever's kind of forageable in her area, which is not what you do, but like I love the chocolatiers that are coming up with different things based on themes and seasons, and
I think it's a really nice idea, definitely. Yeah, I enjoy throwing Anna the odd curveball to see if she can somehow integrate it into a chocolate.
Yeah, you basically already have my old job, Dan. You was like, Anna, make a roast dinner in a chocolate.
Oh, that sounds great.
Really? Oh, Paul did that. Paul Le Young had his at Christmas had the
red wine gravy in a chocolate. Oh, sold.
I've had, Marmite and red wine that could maybe work. Paul's were he had duck l'orange and beef. Oh, wow. Beef and roast drip, like beef beef and dripping.
Really?
And what was the other one? I think there was a turkey. Did he try turkey? I think.
Your face is telling me that they weren't that great.
I don't like those things, being vegetarian. So
fair enough.
Some people really enjoyed them, but and I did taste them because I'm a flexible vegetarian.
Yeah.
But it just reminded me of like eating the food that I don't enjoy eating. So
okay.
It wasn't a win for me, but I think he did the balance really well, and it was very, effective. Yeah. But there are some things that I enjoy trying for the experience, but I don't enjoy eating.
It was brave to attempt, nonetheless, to try and put those things into a chocolate.
I think that's Paul's particular. Loves doing things that really push the boundaries of what people actually want to eat in chocolate. When we're judging, say we, because Dom's on the call as well, and he's also a judge, and so are Karen and Isabel, and sometimes it's a discussion about what is interesting versus what is actually something we want to sit down in front of a film and eat. Yeah, very true. So there's like that, striking that balance between things that are exciting and new and fun versus things that you want to tell your friends about it, but not give them as a present, except for the novelty, perhaps. Yeah. The knotweed, that was my favorite from Charlotte's box. What's coming in this next month's box? And it was at the cider and that you mentioned.
So this month we have the cider is for December. For this month we are doing classic foods theme. So it's all cozy autumny desserts. So we did pumpkin pie, apple crumble, sticky toffee pudding, and tiramisu, which is what we have for this month.
Nice. I like it. I can't remember, I bought a box from you in May or June.
Oh yeah, I think it must have been May.
Yeah,
my last box
May.
for summer.
And they traveled in the heat.
Oh no.
They were not as good as this box now.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I had quite a few boxes like that in that time where I then got sent like repeats of them or tried them on a different occasion. And I was like, oh, that's what it's supposed to taste like. Like that's not how so that effect of heat really can dull flavors. So makes it much less subtle. The same as sort of time does as well. So sometimes when I think it was actually Nadine asking, who's gone now, but was asking about shelf life, that it's not necessarily the risk of mold with flavors beyond a certain point, although that is also a factor for sometimes, but it's the fact that the flavors start to just deteriorate when you're not using artificial flavors or certain stabilizers and preservatives that help to sort of hold everything together and trap the flavors. You end up with something. So if you're using fresh mint or basil, it just completely disappears as an infusion by the time 2 weeks are up. So yeah, back to our point, eat your chocolate as soon as possible. Unless it's for a mystery tasting and then you have to hold on to it until the live call. Sorry. Any more questions? So the next tastings are November the 9th and December the 7th, and then January, I think it's the 11th, and then February. So the January one is vegan. So if you have any vegan friends, bring them along. And yeah, the other ones are a mystery. But I also keep forgetting to mention that we do have a private Facebook group. So I check it regularly. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them in there. And if I'm not there to answer, some of the other lovely people like Karen, Isabel and Dom that are in the group will probably have answers for you. So yeah, I'll send the link in the follow-up to this call. So I will send everybody who joined tomorrow, you'll get an email with the list of chocolates. So if you didn't get a chance to write all the names down and you would like a record of them, then you'll have it there. Eventually they'll be on my social media as well. I haven't done any of the ones since October. Sorry, it'll happen. I've got the lovely Anissa working with me now, who's on the call too. So yeah, one of her tasks, yay. So it will happen. Right, so well, thank you very much for joining. I'm not seeing any questions come up in the chat. If anyone wants to come off mute and ask questions, feel free. I cannot put it on YouTube if you don't want to be on permanent on the interwebs. No questions? Oh, Gina, you've got a question? I'm gonna wait for a second. You're saying bye. Just waving goodbye. I thought you were waving for my attention.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It was so lovely to see new faces and ones I've seen before. Like how I did that. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.